Hi, I'm Yasmin Pascual Dormido, a DCOM student, and for our Advocacy, Communication, and Social Mobilization Module 7, Topic 7, I'm going to share with you this presentation on the challenges and risks in using social media for advocacy. But before we dive into the main topic, let's first define a few key terms. So advocacy is the act of influencing decisions within political, economic, and social systems for a cause or for an issue. It often involves raising awareness, lobbying, and mobilizing people to take action based on the definition of Cohen, De La Vega, and Watson. And also, this is also based on some of the definitions of Zeynep and Tufekci. Social mobilization, on the other hand, is the process of bringing together all societal and personal influences to raise awareness and demand change. That's UNICEF 2013's definition. So think of it as the community engine behind every advocacy. So in the digital age, social and digital media have supercharged both this, according to Cohen, De La Vega, and Watson 2001, and Tufekci 2017. Now with the smartphone and an internet connection, people from nearly anywhere can raise their voices and advocate for justice. Campaigns can also gain traction in hours or even in minutes. But while this unprecedented access has created new opportunities, it also has brought new challenges. So there's misinformation, there's also the risk of surveillance, and of course, digital burnout, among others. Let's begin with a quote that captures the heart of today's discussion. Zeynep Tufekci once said, social media helps protesters organize or coordinate, but not necessarily to organize. It is a powerful reminder that while platforms like Facebook or X, formerly known as Twitter, offer tools, they don't automatically create structures or strategies. Advocacy organizations, whether they're non-government organizations, grassroots groups, or global coalitions, they all rely on public support to push for social policy or social change or policy change. But in today's digital landscape, the terrain has changed. So this lecture will walk you through the promise, the pressure, and the perils of using social media in advocacy. So immobilization is one of the strategies or tactics that are famous and also have proven to be effective in gathering support from the community. So a good example would be petitiononline.com. So social media has definitely changed the advocacy game. First, there is what we call amplification. A single post can go viral and, of course, reach millions. Think of the Black Lives Matter movement, which started with a hashtag in 2013 after Trayvon Martin's death. And of course, it grew into a global force. Then, of course, mobilization in 2019, students or Filipino students joined the Fridays for Future climate movement by organizing through Twitter and Facebook. Tools like Instagram, their stories, their reels, of course, um, and Facebook events helped young activists to gather quickly with minimal or little cost. Here's another e-mobilization strategy wherein, well, the web facilitates protests, offline actions in the first case, and an entirely online movement in the second. So a good example would be what I've mentioned a while ago, petitiononline.com. It was started in 1999 by Matthews and Artifice Incorporated because of the belief in grassroots democracy, and of course his desire to facilitate people's activism on whatever issues they are concerned about. So the platform allows petition creators to post their petitions on the site by entering the text and of course answering a few background questions and setting a selection of preferences for the petition. So this includes how signatures are shown in the petition. One major challenge, though, and of course, there's what we call digitally enabled social change, activism in the internet age. So there's the narrative control, and then platforms let organizations speak directly to their audiences, and then there's no need to wait for press coverage. So Amnesty International, for instance, has been effective in spotlighting human rights violations like torture or surveillance through short videos and digital petitions. We go now to the challenges faced by advocacy organizations on social media. In reality, it's not all smooth sailing. So one major challenge is algorithmic control. So in 2018, Facebook tweaked its algorithm to prioritize friends and family posts. So this move drastically reduced the visibility of nonprofit pages. So as noted by NPR and The Guardian. So smaller groups also struggle with resources. A case in point is the case of MASIPAG. It's a farmers organization. It's a farmers network that pushes for sustainability or sustainable agriculture. So they rely heavily on volunteers and have limited digital reach compared to well-funded organizations that can pay for ads and of course hire digital teams. Then there's what we call slacktivism. Slacktivism is when people feel they have helped by simply clicking share, like, or the react button on social media platforms. So when people do that, then they are committing or guilty of slacktivism. So remember the Coney 2012 campaign? It went massively viral, but eventually fizzled out without real change on the ground. So many people engage in low effort actions, online liking, sharing and hashtagging without committing to deeper, meaningful involvement through volunteering, donating, or lobbying. So this creates an illusion of impact without substantial change, by the way.